Hey, good morning, guys. How you getting on? Welcome to the third session of Introduction to Video Editing. How is everybody doing this morning? Um, oh wow, awesome. Nice to see you, Sue. And nice to see you too, Charlotte. Awesome. So, guys, we're gonna kind of I put the survey in there at the top, so I know that sometimes it gets lost and stuff. Obviously, I'm gonna be working on my. I'm gonna have the chat open on my phone today, just because I've got one monitor, so it can get a bit tricky with me opening the chat when I'm screen recording. So I will be looking at the chat, but not super frequently. But I'm glad to see you guys in here already. We're going to be working on a wide range of stuff today. We're going to be doing some easier stuff and some stuff that might be a little bit harder. So at least there'll be a bit of a mixed bag in there. So hopefully that'll be good for everybody. I want to show you guys a couple of resources first, which I use quite frequently, which I think might be helpful to you guys. So make sure once again, guys, we will be using. I feel like that my camera might have crashed there. So yeah, that's okay because I'm not going to be on this for too long. So if my camera crashed, that's not a problem. Make sure it's okay on the actual screen record. Yeah, it's fine. I can see myself moving. Okay, so basically, guys, um, yeah, good morning. This website here that I want to show you guys first is called pexels.com. And you can just see the icon just there, Pexels. And basically, that website is it's a website for stock photos and stock footage. So it has a bunch of kind of different resources, and it's not just stock videos, which is what we're going to be looking at today, but it's also stock photos. But generally, guys, if you want to kind of make a video about something, like for example, a lot of advertisers they use stock footage. If they kind of want to make a video advertising something, they'll use stock footage. You see it in everything. In movies, you'll see stock footage. People will buy stock footage of people. Like I want to tell you guys a little bit of trivia here. But when you see a movie and it'll be like, say the movie shot in, let's say LA, and then it'll have like a shot, an aerial shot of LA. That film team may have went out and filmed that, but it's probably quite likely they didn't even film that. It's probably quite likely that they just bought that footage from someone, you know. Like not like there's like companies which specialize in like high quality stock footage, so they might have just bought that, put it at the beginning of the scene, and there you go. Like someone shot it up in a helicopter, and films do that all the time. So stock footage is, you know, it's a massive staple of anything. You know, the news uses it, advertisers use it, films use it, so it's there for everything. But this website is pexels.com. I'll write that in the chat there just so you guys can have a little look. And sorry, give me a second. Yeah, that's the right website. Okie dokie, brilliant. Pexels.com, yeah, that's the one. And basically, yeah, what I'd like you to do if you're on that is go to videos, the third one along, home, discover videos, and then you guys can have a little look at some of these stock videos. So we've got a guy doing Tai Chi here, got a go with camera, and people taking a selfie, and just some nice kind of shots of buildings. So things like that, like coffee. So if you wanted to do a video about working from home and you wanted to kind of put some, it's all right anytime. So if you wanted to put up some stats just about how, you know, people have been working from home lately, there's a nice one here. It's like Greece, but who can say? I think Greece has that architecture quite a lot. And yeah, so it's pretty good. I'm gonna type in something here. Let's have a look. Um, let's do type in, guys. So generally, you're not going to get the most on this website. You're not going to get like uber specific stuff. Um, so that's Giannis and Antetokounmpo. I think no, it isn't. No, it isn't actually. It looks like a Bucks jersey. Um, but yeah, you're not going to get the most specific stuff, like I said. So if you're looking for like a particular place, you might get it, but then also you might Not because it is a big library, but it's all free. A lot of stock footage people will ask you to pay for. Well, so that's a good point, Charlotte. Yeah, are these all royalty free? Generally, they are. Yes, on Pexels, generally they are. They will specify, so you can click on the video. So let's just say there's some selections here. I'm gonna type in like let's just type in city. I mean that's pretty general, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff. So yeah, we've got a couple of different aerial shots here. Let's have a quick look here. And yeah, so if I click on one of these, let's have a little look. This looks like a Seattle, I think, and it will tell you you can save it. There it says free download, but it'll generally have the information about it as well. So I would say generally these are all free to use. And if they weren't, it would be specified otherwise. So you can click on info here as well, and it says, there you go. So it's got the license underneath it, and it says free to use, no attribution required. So pretty much you could just use all these on your videos for free reign, and they're really high quality, a lot of them as well. So this guy's got 15k followers, and it's a 4k video. So 4k is like as good as it gets, really. So yeah, so also bear that in mind though, like the footage is really high quality. So um, you might have some issues with playback. I doubt it because they're usually quite smaller clips, but just to bear that in mind. So yeah, we are going to be using some of clips like this today. So please make sure, guys, that you do, excuse me, that you do download the stuff that's in the description. So all the resources are in the description. Make sure you download those. I will post those into the chat in just a second, just to make sure that you've got them. But yeah, make sure you download those resources if you are wanting to kind of join in with me and do it with me as we go. As I said, it's going to be maybe a little bit more simple than last week, just because what we're using is stock footage mainly today. But but yeah, maybe next week we might cut another video, so we'll see how we get on with that. But yeah, anyway, guys, so there's pexels.com, and just have a little look. And if you're ever looking for stock footage to use for anything, there you go. It's a good little resource. Then I use it all the time, and I've used it in Media Savvy's videos when, if we're doing a little advertising piece and we need some like text with video, I'll find something from here usually. So yeah. The other website I wanted to show you, probably a lot of you guys are going to be familiar with it because you may have used it when you've used Photoshop before, but it is also really good for if you're wanting to do any video editing. This is dafont.com, so DAFONT.com. I'll post that into the chat once again. Let's see. That's the one, dafont.com. And yeah, once again, guys, this website is a really good kind of resource for titles. I'm not going to download anything today, but if you joined the horror video last week, I attached a font in that. If you had to go on that, and that font was from dafont.com, and it was in the horror section. And there is a horror section here. Let's have a little look. And similar to what you just asked before, so there's fancy. We can have a look in fancy horror. Yeah, and I think so there you go. And if you like a particular movie font, so say for example, there's like a movie font that you really like, and you want to kind of mimic that or imitate that, then you could type it in here, and they'll probably have it. To be honest, so yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. There's Friday the 13th font, which is obviously pretty cool, and you can just download it as well there, and really really simple to install. You just simply download it, and it'll come up in a zip folder. You just double click on it, and then you literally click install, which is one of the options. So couldn't be simpler to use. You can actually usually use it on Word even, but you can use it in Premiere. You can use it in Photoshop. You can use it on Photopea if you wanted to, and hit Film Express as well. So it's a good little resource here. And I'm just going to look at this Friday the 13th. See, they often come up with different types of font as well. So we've got 3 different types here, and you'll download all of them as well, like I'd imagine if you download it. And then they've also got a little chart, which is like basically like an alphabet of just like things for it. So yeah, I use this resource all the time. So those two resources that I showed you there, pexels.com and dafonts.com, guys. So both pretty good resources that can give you a lot of kind of stuff for stock footage. Okie dokie, guys. So that is about it in terms of the stock footage and stuff. I'm going to switch my screen. I'm going to kind of link the resources in the description. So I'm just going to switch to a break screen for like 1.8 seconds while I do that, and then we'll get that we'll get the link in the description there in the chat. Sorry, and you guys can have a little look at that. So yeah, just bear with me for 1 second, guys. It is in the description as well, but just because I know it's sometimes hard for people to access, so I'll just paste that in now, and then we'll get cracking. So yeah. Okay. Just give me 1.8 seconds, guys. Yeah. So yeah, these different resources are pretty good, and yeah, this is it. And make sure, guys, you download all. So you click on lesson 3 when you open this up. You click the drop down arrow and then you press download, and it should download all of them. So that's the link there, guys. Brilliant. Okie dokie, guys. Now we are going to crack on, and we're going to go straight into it. So yeah, guys. All right, now you can see me. We're gonna open up HitFilm Express, and you're gonna be greeted with this page again. By now, we should start to be getting to the point where we're understanding this software a little bit better each time, and hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully, you're starting to kind of understand things a little bit more. And yeah, it's like I said, it's pretty similar to Premiere, so it's not too bad. So we're going to press New if you get to HitFilm Express for me, and we're going to kind of set up our things to make a new project. We've got the video width is 1920, the height is 1080, which is like kind of standard widescreen, so that's fine. Frame rate 30. That'll be okay for now, I think. Generally, when you shoot video yourself, you'll have an idea of what frame rate you shot it. But if you're using stock footage, you'll have to find out what the stock footage is. Also, you run the risk of, when you've got stock footage, that some of it might be at a different frame rate. Generally, though, I thought that it would give you issues. But yeah, that's just something to bear in mind. But worry about that when you get to it. I wouldn't worry about that too much, guys. And then square pixels is 1 for now. I'll be okay for now, I think. We could change it if we wanted to do any of these. And I think that would be fine as well. But I think just leaving it as that is okay. Okie dokie, guys. Right, we're going to crack on. So once we've got the screen up here, we're just going to go straight into OK. And it should open up our new window in a second. Obviously on the front page here, you've got a bunch of tutorials and so on. So we'll see. I think it's just been a bit slow, but there you go. Cracking, and there we are. We're back into our little editor here, and we are going to get started, guys. So first things first, we are going to go to File, and we are going to go to, no, we're not going to do that, sorry. We're going to go to Media here, and then we're going to go to the bottom, like the left here where it says Import. We're going to press that, and we are going to find, so we'd go to Downloads, and then Video Editing Resources Lesson 3. You guys should obviously already have that if you've downloaded it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on here, and I'm going to hold Shift and select everything here. So I've got all of the things that I want to use right here, and then I'm just going to press Open, and that should import everything. You can see it's all imported. It might take a couple minutes, and there we go. So I'm excited to use this, guys. It should be fun. I think we've got some really fun stuff here. Okay. So there's our Tai Chi man. He's looking pretty cool. As you can see, I think because I'm streaming currently, and this is such high-res footage, we get a little bit of frame drop, but that's all right. You guys probably won't have that same frame drop that I do, but that's okay. So let's see, guys. Okie dokie. I am going to drag in. So we've got a few things that we can look at here. We've got green screens we can do, and we're going to do a few different types of titles. First, I think that we're going to go for like a dynamic type of title. Okay, so this is the harder part of what we want to do today. So we'll get the hard stuff out of the way with, and then we'll look at some of the more kind of let's say maybe easier stuff, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. But we'll crack on with this one for now. Obviously everybody can do this, it's just a case of doing it step by step. I think what we're going to do is we are going to right click on this. Actually, tell you what, we're going to drag the bokeh lights into the timeline, and it says that the editor sequence differs to the clip you added. Do you want to change it to match the clip? And I'm actually going to say no, because sometimes if all of your footage is exactly the same, like you know it's exactly the same, you shot it, then you can maybe put yes, because it's going to match your footage, and that's all that matters. Generally, you should have it set up so it already matches your footage, but it may be a little bit off. That's totally fine. As you can see, the reason that this one says it's different is because we set it for 30 frames a second. This is 25 frames a second. You can see in the bottom left there. And it is 1920 1080, so it fits perfectly because that's what we set it to. I'm going to say no for now because we've got all kinds of different footage in here, so it's going to ask me that every time I drag something in that's not matching. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we can have a little look at this clip, and that looks quite nice. What I want to do is I'm going to see if I can change my playback so it plays a little bit faster. Playback quality, final, yeah, so it's on the highest already. Okay, so let's just play that back. So yeah, guys, I don't know if I've told you before, because if you guys joined my Photopea sessions, then you'll know that that effect is called bokeh. And we spoke about it before in I think I've used it a couple of times, but we spoke about it a little bit in Photopea because it was one of the backgrounds. And basically, bokeh is achieved when you have a bunch of lights, and it could be usually at night time, but you can achieve it in the daytime, and you kind of make the camera out of focus, and the lights start to become dots. The lights start to become dots. So it's easy to achieve, and it looks quite good. And you've probably seen it quite a lot in movies as well. And a lot of times something will start with bokeh, and then they'll gradually get focus, and then you'll be able to see what's actually in the shot. But yeah, it's just a nice little kind of light effect, and it's good. It's nice when it's filmed outside because you get a bunch of different kind of colors. We've got a nice red there, we've got a blue there, we've got a yellow here, and we've got kind of this kind of warm yellow here. Well, it's more of a warm yellow, and this one's quite nice and light. So yeah, it's a really nice effect that's used a lot in film. And what we're going to do now, guys, is we are going to click on this, and I'm going to right click it, and we are going to go to make a composite shot here, and we're going to click that when you get a chance, guys. So you're going to right click on your clip in the editor, and then we're going to press make a composite shot, and then it's going to say select your clip, take properties from the selected clip, or take properties from the editor sequence. We can put editor sequence for now. I don't think it's going to matter though. So if you got it similar to what I've got it there, that should be good. And then we can just press OK. Right, and then that is our little window here. But like I say, I like to change it to the compositing window, which basically just means I like to change the layout of this because this is still very much an editing layout, and it's not the easiest to do these kind of things with this setup. So what we would do next, guys, is we would go to a window, and then we would go to workspaces, and I'm just going to change my workspace to compositing, and we're just going to wait for that to load. So what we're going to do, guys, here is basically we're going to kind of make if I'm looking down, by the way, it's because I'm looking at the chat on my phone, so I'm not like um I'm not like kind of looking off screen. It's like I do actually have my phone by me on the bottom left, so that's got the chat open. So yeah, it might look a bit weird for you guys if you just kept on me looking down to the left. um I'll try to avoid doing that too much, but yeah. So what we're going to do is we're basically doing it's like it's kind of a title effect, a really cool dynamic title effect, and it is basically where we can have like we can see the text is like transparent, but it has the background underneath it. If you don't know what I mean, you will in a minute because we're going to go through it. But it looks really cool and it's a really nice effect. So first thing that we're going to do here to kind of work towards that is we're just going to press this little text button here, and I'm going to draw a text box. And you want to draw a really it's not a massive text box, but you want to draw one that's going to be big enough for you. So I'm going to start on the very left here, and I'm going to drag that right to there. I want it to be nice and wide because we want to get as much of this in as possible. I would say that looks fairly decent. I'm happy with that, I guess. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's definitely okay. And then I've got this little window here where I've got effects, lifetime history text. We can click on text and then click that one. So Arial is the text that I had up at the moment. It's a little bit boring. Let's find something a bit different. And like I say, obviously we went on to font.com earlier, guys. If you're using that website, there's a whole bunch of like really interesting, kind of cool, different fonts that you could use, and you could put them in here for your title. So it's there's a wide range of stuff you could use for this, guys. Let's have a little look. Okay. Impact. That's like the meme text. Guild Sans is what we use for our videos, but for a title, we may not use Guild Sans for a title because it's title's kind of different. It's its own thing. It's not. It doesn't really matter for this, but I want to pick one that's going to kind of stick out. Just going to settle on a random one in a second. Let's see. Bungie regular's okay, I guess. Let's just have a little try of some different ones actually. That one is a bit boring. Bond shrift. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. That one's okay. Okay, Babas, Babas Neo. I don't know how to say that. Anybody else can have a go at that one? Let me know. Babas Neo. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to put that in the middle, and then the middle. So these two paragraph buttons are going to help you align it, and then I'm going to make it nice and big. I want it to be about 500. All right, and then I'm going to center it in the middle. So you see that little icon there. Make it 500 again. Yeah. Every time that I realign it, it does that, and that's really frustrating, but it's okay. Okay, so 500. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to write in text. I actually want it to be bigger than that, so we're going to go to. Where is that? Is that just the text? Yeah, we're going to go to 600. Let's say 700. There we go. Text. Even bigger than that. 800. Yeah. I'm gonna even. I know it's just never ended, but even bigger than that. Text. There we go. That's pretty good. I would say that's kind of what we want. But maybe let's try 1,000. I don't know if it's gonna start to cut stuff off. I'll do that because the text box is not big enough. Yeah, it does. So we'll stick with 800. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so then we've got text there. I can't think of anything more creative than that, guys. So I'm sorry. I know it's a bit boring to have just text is the thing. But yeah, can't. If anyone else got any suggestions, we could put something like, not that small, but let's see. Text is a bit boring, right? It's too big though. night. It's kind of cool. And yep, night. Let's see, night's okay. I can live with night. And then you can move it if you want using your hand tool. You just click on your hand. Just gonna drag it kind of up or down, left or right. Let's see about that. That's cool. Night. You know when you look at a word so much that you just start, it doesn't make sense anymore. That's what's happening right now. I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking like, it doesn't even look like a word anymore. Yeah, so that's that. You get that there. We've got night, and even that looks like quite cool, right? Like it looks quite funky, with the bokeh and the title. That would be a decent title in itself. The block capitals and just in the middle, kind of there, while we've got the bokeh in the background. But we're going to make it a little bit better. So I'm going to right click here in this little box here, and then we're going to go to new layer, and we're going to go to text. Oh no, we're not, sorry, that was my mistake. We're going to right click, we're going to go to new layer, and we're going to go to plane, and that is basically just going to make a block color. That's basically what plane does, and we're going to make that white. Yeah, so just go down to white there, select, and yeah, okay, match timeline. So we want it to be exactly the same as our timeline, and we're just going to press OK. And now you think, oh my god, it's like completely like there's nothing there, right? So we can go to effects, set map, yeah, and layer only, that's fine. And we're going to drag that onto the plane there. So okay, so I just want to run you through that again, because I know that's a tiny bit confusing. You go to effect, and then you type in set mat, and you just drag that onto the plane layer. So make sure that if you've got the composite window, you click on effect, it says search in effect, type in set mat, and it'll bring up the set mat there. And then you have the left hand side, which is the controls of the set mat. And what we're going to do is we are going to make the source layer. So I know this is where it gets a little bit confusing, but just bear with me, guys. If you just go step by step, it's totally fine. So once again, just really quick, we make a plane. You right click and you make a plane layer. You change the color to white. You already should have that effect window there. Type in set mat, drag it onto the plane layer, and then you get this control window on the left. We're just going to click that drop down arrow. We're going to click the source layer, and we are going to click new text. So we want the source layer to be the new text. And that's fine, it looks exactly the same, right? And then where it says replace on blend, we're going to make that subtract. And they think, well, can't see anything there, so what we're going to do is we are just going to turn off the text layer. By doing that, so we've changed the blend to subtract, it looks white again. You think, well, that's not really doing anything. And then you can go down to where the text layer is, and you can see there's a layer visibility, which is just this little eye, very much like Photopea, very much like Photoshop, very much like Premiere. And then you're just going to click on that, and then there you go, bam. So now we have our funky title, guys, and that was that. So we're going to animate this, so we're going to make it even cooler than it is now. But look at that. I mean, that's so cool, right? It's very simple. That took us, what, like 10 minutes? And we've got like a dynamic title already, and you can kind of play that to see how it would look. There you go. And bear in mind, we've got a little bit of frame drop, but we wouldn't usually have that. And I think that looks like really, really cool. Like a cool kind of little title guy. Brilliant. But yeah, what we're going to do next is we're actually going to animate this. So we're going to make it even more cool, even cooler, and even more dynamic. So the next thing we would do, guys, is we would go to, let's see, we've got this pawn here, text here. We're going to go back down to the text layer. And we are going to go to transform. And where it says scale, we're going to go 1 second in here. So that's where the 1 second mark is there. You can see on your timeline to make sure that it's, 1 second in. And then what we're going to do is Just run through that quickly again, guys. You find your text layer, you press your drop down arrow, then you press the drop down arrow where transform is, and then you've got these options here. What we're going to do is we're going to drag the marker to 1, so you've got it there, and then we're going to press this circle here where scale is, so that's at 100 there, and that's what that looks like, which is fine. And then we're going to drag that to the 0, and then we're going to like make the scale like 4000, which sounds crazy, but it's going to work. And that actually has worked perfectly, because usually it might take us, oh, that could not have worked any better, guys. I might do another one of these with a different text later. I don't even want to touch this for now because it worked out so well. I tell you what, I actually will. I'm going to mess with it. So I kind of don't want it, but that is so perfect. All right, guys. Yeah, so that's our effect basically now. So if you want to just watch that in real time, obviously it's not going to look perfect until we export it a bit later, but for now I think that looks great. So that's our effect. That's the opening effect. Sometimes, guys, when you make the zoom, because of where it zooms in or where it zooms out, you can't actually see the it'll zoom out from like white instead of the actual text, and that sometimes doesn't look very good. So what you'd have to do in that instance is you'd have to move the position as well. So just for example, the position would end here. I'll show you guys a demonstration. So that's 49.2 and 27.1. Okay. So we'd have it there where it like ends like that. And see how we want it to have that bokeh. We want it to start like that and then to come in with the text. But sometimes it'll be like it's that gonna load? It's not loading. But sometimes it'll come up with like some white text instead, and then that's not what we want, you know? It's not really loading because it's too much going on, I think. But yeah, so if that happens, guys, anyway, if it comes up with like white text instead of like it comes up with like a white block instead of the actual like video part that you want to use, in that case you can just change the position like I've just done there. I'm going to move that right back, yeah, because we don't want to mess with that. But bang, so that's how it should look. Okay, and I'm going to stop playing around with that. I'm going to drag that in so we can see what it looks like. So yeah, we're going to change, so that's how it comes in. I mean, that's perfect. Bang. Nice. Night, our title. And I'll maybe end it like here. Let's see, you're going to drag that back to about there. Okie dokie. Right, so what I want to do as well is I'm going to change my window back. So go back to Window, Workspaces, and then Reset Workspace. Crack it. I'm going to actually put a little bit of this bokeh at the front, so I've got a couple seconds of bokeh before the tile comes in, and I think that'll look quite nice as well. It would be nice if the bokeh had some sound attached to it. It does actually. We can use that as well. What's the sound? I think it's just, I can't hear anything actually, so I don't think it has any. And we're just gonna kind of put that at the beginning, kind of start like here, because we don't want too much. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and ripple delete gap. Bam. All I've done there is I've just got a little bit of that bogan at the beginning. So we've got some bogan to start with, and then it comes into our title like that. So that's a nice cool dynamic, and that is like, guys, that is like relatively easy considering that took us like 15 minutes or so, and we ended up with a title like that. Cool. So I'm going to add some finishing touches onto that. I'm going to put a bit of music on, and then I'm going to add after we've put music on, we're going to put a bit of like a whoosh sound effect as well. So if you see, guys, we've got this free transition sound whoosh wish. We're going to drag that in, and then we're going to put it where the sound is. And brace yourself, guys. I don't know how loud this is going to be. I'm sorry if that was really loud for you guys. RIP headphones users. I don't want it to be muted. Hold on. How is that? Is that too loud for you guys, or is that actually okay? I'm gonna lower it to like 12. Do you hear that? Do you guys hear that okay? So we want to get one of these to use with our title to make the title more emphatic. And we're just gonna have a little listen. Bit loud. Okay, I'm sorry. One thing I can do here is if I go into here, just put my desktop audio down a little bit. That should actually do it. Is it okay now? that should definitely help a little bit. So some of these we're not going to use, they're not going to be applicable, but some of them might be quite helpful. So I'm sorry if I'm like that. I think that one is what we're going to go for. What we would do, guys, is you just literally like find which whoosh sound effect you want to use, and then you can press C, and then you can get your little razor, and with that we're just going to cut before and after, because I can look at the sound waves here. If you can see on my screen, guys, we've got these sound waves. I can tell which clip is which, or which whoosh is which whoosh, which is a tongue twister. And I'm going to start it there. That's better, right? Perfect. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm going to start it there, and I'm just going to drag that to here, and drag that there. And then I think I'm going to put that underneath, but we need to find exactly where to put it. So I've only got one audio track here, so what I need to do is right click on this audio track and then press insert track, and quite simply that just literally puts another audio track underneath because we're going to layer it over. So what we would do next is just drag that onto track 2, and then I'm going to kind of move this along, hold on, and I want to locate exactly when the title drops in. So I think it drops in about here. So if we put that clip like here, that should work quite nicely. So if we go, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because it's not the right clip, or maybe I've cut too much of it off. So I can just stretch it out, and let's have a little look. It doesn't work. It needs to be more of like a build up. So we'll have a look at some of the other ones. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, guys, because I don't want to. That might work, to be fair. It's quite subtle. Let's try this one. This one. Yeah. I'm going to try this one here. So I'm just going to press C. Once again, I'm going to select that, and just going to drag that underneath about here again. That works. Okay, so now that works. Okay, so if you look, And there you go. So yeah, it's just finding the right one that's going to fit and kind of make it seem like that title is doing that sound effect, because your eyes and ears obviously work together, and they're kind of telling you that this should have sound because we associate motion with sound. So when we see motion, we think there should be some sound there, and that's basically what we're adding. And just one last time for you guys. Cool, and I think that's a pretty cool title. And we can maybe cue the music after that. So I'm going to delete that whoosh for now, and we can maybe cue the music that we had. And we could start it and put it kind of here. Let's see, and then we could fade it in as well. So if we right click, we might need to go to effects. Actually, we go to effects, transitions, audio, crossfade, and we can just drag that crossfade on the top there. Brilliant, and then that should work. I think we're going to start it a little bit later because we don't want it to hear from that. I mean, that kind of works. So yeah, we'll leave it like that, and that's our title for today's session. So I think we're done with that. That looks pretty good. Quite happy with that. Now we're going to look at something a bit more fun and quite easy. I want to see you guys. I want you guys to give that night title a try. See if you can do that kind of title style. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you get stuck on any parts, ask me and I'll run through it with you. But now we're going to do something that I think that, well, I think everybody can do this title. It might take them a little bit longer. They might need to look through the steps, but I think everyone's capable of doing that. It doesn't have to be. The thing about this as well, guys, is that you don't have to actually use the burger. The burger is just one that I used. I chose to use this one. You could use any of the clips that we've got. So you could use the one of like New York in black and white, the one of the flowers, any of the clips in the resources. You could use that as the background, and then just have whatever text you want as well. So I chose to have the text night, and I chose to use the bokeh background. You could really use any single one you wanted, um, and that would work just as well, guys. So it's really whatever you choose, whatever you think is going to work for you. Um, that's just the one that I went for, guys. Okie dokie. Right now, I'm going to get this green screen in. So let's start with the Shire green screen. So all right, brace yourself for this, by the way. If this is too loud, let me know because this may be really loud. Okay, so obviously, as you see, that it's not our footage like doesn't match the size of our workspace or the size of our project. So what we're going to do is right click on it, and we're going to click transform fit to frame, and then bam, that's all you need to do for that. And then let's have a little listen to what Shire has to tell us.
Do it!
I'm so sorry if that really like deafened everybody. I didn't expect it to be that loud. I'm gonna drop that down to like -20. It deafened me as well, guys. So if it did deafen you, you're not alone. And then I'm actually gonna drop. How is the is that was that okay for you? Because I did drop the desktop audio quite a bit. So let me know if you can still hear. Yeah, that's much better. It's still a bit distorted, but it's not as bad. Um, Let me drop that to like -26. Okay, right now. Sorry about that.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
There you go, guys. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. That's what Shia LaBeouf says. So it's one of my favorite memes. But obviously, Shire is in a green background here. Um, and that's that. Yeah, we can't obviously. So he's got no background at all. It's just a green screen. We're gonna have a look at some green screen stuff together now. Basically, what green screen is there is it's just like it's like a block background color that people choose because there's blue screen as well. Blue screen also exists, but I mean, like you can really have any kind of screen you wanted to because you just key in it out. But the most common two types are green screen and blue screen. Now, green screen is the most common one, and it's used to key kind of um, things out. So if you wanted to change the background, a lot of time a green screen would be used, but generally in mainstream cinema now, it is used so often you wouldn't even believe it. Like you would have no idea. Like I would say that a lot of what you see, like anytime you see kind of any action stunts in something like Avengers or any big budget movies, any movie you've watched where it's like someone's like probably fallen out of a helicopter or anything where it's like some big scale and thing or a fantasy movie, they always use green screen and like the actors are literally just walking around like in a green screen area like what Shire's walking around, and then they'll key in all the background, they'll add everything in. And yeah, I'm not like it works obviously and it can look good, but I think that nothing's going to recreate the same feeling as if the actors are on location. But it is quite scary what they can do with green screen now. Like they can make it like as lifelike as possible, really. So it's amazing what they can do. There's some really really talented people about, but at the same time, um, I would like to see as much location stuff as possible. I'm gonna let you guys know. Obviously, I guess some of you guys might have seen Lord of the Rings. Well, Lord of the Rings was shot generally mostly on location. There's obviously certain stuff they have to green screen, like for example, Andy Serkis who played Smeagol, was in a green screen suit, like a morph suit basically, and he had like little tracking balls on him and stuff, and they motion tracked him, and that, like it's like a form of green screen in a way. But The Hobbit was mainly green screen, so when you watched Lord of the Rings, you see it's mainly on location. They actually were there, but The Hobbit is like mostly green screen, and they weren't really on location anywhere. So, and there's a really quite compelling behind the scenes kind of thing of Ian McKellen crying because he's saying like, "Oh, I didn't become an actor to do this," you know. So he didn't become an actor to be in a green screen studio, and he was having trouble kind of recreating the magic when he was having to use a green screen all the time. So something interesting for you guys. Yes, Charlotte. My favorite is the Shia LaBeouf song. The Shia LaBeouf song is awesome. So I love that. Yeah, that's an absolute classic. Um, Also, when it at the very end and it cuts to Shia just clapping. Okay, guys, I'll crack on because I could chat for forever. But yes, so what we're gonna do now is we'll go to our effects toolbar here on the bottom left, and make sure that you've got this clip open in your editor, and we are going to have a little look. Let's see. Do it. We're going to type in color difference. Okay, so where you can search in effects, you type in color difference, and then you get keying. Keying is the process of keying something out. It's selecting one color or several colors and pulling them out. So we're going to go to color difference key, and I'm just going to drag that onto Shire. Okay, and yep, dragging it straight on a Shire, and then you notice it's black, so it's literally took out the green screen straight away. And that is because I've used green screen on this before, but I'm going to show you how we would do that if I hadn't, because it remembers your settings, which is quite good for this. So if you click the drop down arrow where it says color difference, click key, it says screen color green, and then it's got min, max, gamma, and view matte. So this may not be set to that. If it was red, that's what would happen. So it's trying to take the red out of it. It's trying to take the red out of the screen. If it was blue, it's trying to take the blue out of the screen, so it hasn't really done anything because there's not much blue there. The red it's picking up is his actual skin. That's really kind of saying that that's red. And then if it's green, it just takes the green straight out. Now you can actually play a little bit with some of the kind of dynamics here. So if we could put the max down, it would start to bring, you see it starts to take him out, so it flips it instead of it, which might be quite cool if you want to do like a kind of weird silhouette thing. And then you've got your min, which is kind of gonna, if we change that, yeah, it's starting to bring in a little bit of the green. You see we're getting a bit of spill here around him. So it's quite a comprehensive tool. It's quite smart. And then the more you drag that, the more it takes that green out, and then ultimately we've got it there. I can't remember what it was initially on now. Yeah, about that. No, it was on less than that. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, it was on 0.65. So go back to green. There, yeah, and as you can see, we've still got a little bit of spill there actually, so we could change that min if we wanted to. And I feel like that takes some of the spill out by just playing with that. So you feel free to play with it as well, guys. And then your gamma, which is once again the same. Yeah, you can see that that's actually takes out the spill. So yeah, look at that. So there we've got a bit of green screen spill there, and then less of that the more we go down. So yeah, really cool little tool there. It's called the color difference key, guys. In Premiere, the Ultra key would do the same thing, but this is just kind of a good alternative. They do have a chroma key in this program, but it's an add-on. The thing about this program is it's really good. It's free, and all of the like it's quite good though in a way because any most of the stuff that you have to pay for, they usually have a free version of that. So this is their free version of it, is the color difference key. But they also have a chroma key, which is what they call an add-on in this program. There's not too many of these, so I know that sounds really kind of unattractive to hear add-on, like because we all hate like those kind of like mobile phone games or whatever where it's like pay to play or even pay to play on like Xbox or whatever. It's a nightmare, you know. I remember they did Star Wars Battlefront, and like the players like Luke Skywalker, you had to buy him, and it's like, why would you even? It's like you're already paying for the game. Why would you have to pay for things on top of that? But yeah, they have little add-ons, so you could buy that for like £2, I think, or you could buy their whole pro version of this software. But the free version is super comprehensive and there's plenty of stuff. But that's beside the point. I'm waffling a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to crack some stuff behind Shire. So we're going to put Shire, we're going to give him a nice backdrop. I mean, that's the purpose of this video initially. Just an interesting bit of trivia is that I believe that this video was he was helping out a bunch of uni students with their art projects, and they all had a different concept. And Shia basically just did a piece to camera, whatever their concept was. So there's a bunch of different ones, and this was one of the more funny ones, I guess, but also quite cool. I have to admit, I'm actually quite a big Shia LaBeouf fan. He's actually a really good actor, all in all. That might be quite nice. Have Shia LaBeouf with flowers in the background. There you go. How cool is that? I hate subscription based stuff, mate. Yeah, it sucks, man. It's like things like on. I understand that you have to incentivize stuff, but like if it's like Candy Crush or whatever, and it's like you only get to like 2 goals, and then you have to pay like £5 for some more. It kind of it's kind of unethical in a way because it makes tries to encourage people spending money, but
Do it!
so sorry about that, guys. But yeah, see, we've got that nice floral backdrop
Just
with a
do
big
it!
Shire.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
So all you're doing there, guys, is literally you put in this video on the second track. You put in the green screen on the second track, and then underneath you've got your green screen.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
It looks amazing to see him in this like kind of
Some people dream of
floral backdrop.
success while you
Right, now what's the next thing that we're gonna drag in? See, we've got a bunch of clips here, guys, so you can pick anything really. I'm gonna save my work because I'm paranoid that it's gonna crash. So Control and S, and we're gonna call this one Test 2. Make sure you always save your work. The shortcut to save your work is Control and S. Time lapse of tall buildings. Man doing Tai Chi. Have him in this kind of Chicago thing. Need to delete the audio track there. So if you ever want to delete an audio track, just right click and then you press unlink and then you click on the audio. Make sure you just click off it, click on it, and then you can just delete it like that. So I've got Shia in like looks like Chicago or something now. I'm gonna try and go for a longer clip. That was 8 seconds, 17, 10. See the longest clip we've got London here, which is pretty long. That one's quite long. Let's do London because it's like 58 seconds. So there's Shia LaBeouf in the UK, guys. Who would have thought it? Gonna right click and unlink. Sorry, I still selected that. Yeah, select that one and then delete.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
Don't worry, like I said once again, don't worry about the frame drop because that's just because you know, I'm streaming as well. It should probably play a lot smoother for you. Yeah, and I doubt you'd have that same issue that I do. Whoa, saw like a flash in the room I'm in there. That was really weird. Okie dokie.
Get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it!
It looks so funny with just like him like in London.
Do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
So there you go, guys. We've got Shia in London, and we've got Shia in. We're gonna do one more little green screen after this, and then we're gonna move on. Then we've got Shia in like some kind of floral setting as well. Look at that, that's a beautiful still. It looks awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do our next little clip and then we're gonna move on. Alright, so it's gonna kind of get rid of these for now. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is the next one. Let's have a little look. Now we've got JCVD. We're going to right click on that and then we are going to go to transform, fit the frame, and then now we've got Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm going to teach you how to do this and then we're going to move on to do one more and then we'll see.
You and what army?
So once again, this is some silly kind of Jean-Claude Van Damme clips. We're going to go to effect and then you see that we've already got the color difference key here. Just going to drag that straight on and then it goes black again. We can control the spill a bit here because there's a little bit of spill, so we can get rid of that as well. So if I can just go to, I think gamma was doing it last time quite a bit. Drag that gamma down, yeah, and it does it really well. And there you go, it takes some of that spill out. So we've just got JCVD.
The funnels! I'll cover you! Come, trust me, I'll cover you! Do you like sushi?
No, I have no words. Um, Brilliant.
Sushi.
So let's take a piece of this, guys. Obviously, you could guys, because there's so much different green screen stuff here with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Feel free to download your own footage to record your own footage, and you can kind of basically do it how you wanted to do it. So you could have him attacking someone, or you could have him killing someone, or however you wanted to do it, guys. So bear in mind that JCVD can be put to any kind of background that you want. So let's have a little look. So I'm gonna put, we've got him with a sword there. Let's have a look. Let's see what we're gonna put with behind Jean-Claude Van Damme. Alrighty then. We're gonna put these buildings here, and let's see how he looks with the buildings behind him. And yeah, obviously they come, if they come smaller, you just right click and you just go to transform, fit to frame, and then bang, you've got JCVD with some buildings behind him. And that looks pretty cool. And I can just drag that sound as well. Oh, so that's kind of gone off. Okay. And I'm going to select all this and just drag it slightly to the left there. Cool. And let's have a little look. Oh, so we need to switch it over, sorry. So yeah, the Jean-Claude Van Damme clip needs to, okay, hold on. Right, so you can't, so we need to put the building on the first track, and then we need to put the Jean-Claude Van Damme clip on the top track, and there you go, we've got a nice little green screen of Jean-Claude Van Damme in like some kind of sci-fi movie. Perfect. And we can put him over one more, and then we'll look at something else. So let's see if we put him on. Let's put him with a Tai Chi master. So let's see if that's gonna work. Tai Chi clip's really high quality. So we need to be careful because we don't want to crash. Okay. Let's see how that works. Let's have a little look. The Vegeta guy looks like a giant compared to Jean-Claude Van Damme. This looks so insane. Let's have a little look. Okay, so I'm going to go to right click here, and then it looks crazy. I'm going to go to fit to frame because I want to make sure that the Tai Chi guy is about the same size. And then the good thing here is because this UVD is on a background, I can basically move his position to where I want. So I can go to, I can literally click on him, I think. Hold on. If I click on, I've got text selected here, so if I click my hand, and then yeah, I can actually move where we position Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to put him here. There you go. He still looks absolutely tiny compared to this dude. That's all about perspective. But yeah, like I said, guys, there's so much Jean-Claude Van Damme footage here. You could feel free to kind of put any bit you want. You could even, if you wanted to, I know that it's a bit crazy, but if you actually wanted to, you could record yourself. Like, because there's clips where he's holding up nobody, and that is so he's left room for someone to record themselves. Like, please don't hit me. And you could make a really funny video just playing around with the footage that we've got in these resources. feel free to get creative if you do fancy that with some of the Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff. And here is a little tip in regards to using here is a little tip, sorry, in regards to using green screen. If you want to use any green screen stuff, like if you've watched any of my videos, any of the stream highlights, or anything like that, we always use kind of like random different like green screen shots. And a way that you can do that is if you literally go onto YouTube and you type in anything you want and then green screen next to it, this is like a little cheat code here. And you can basically, there's like just a bunch of resources, and obviously make sure that they're free, and make sure that they're able to be used. But yeah, you can just download them. So literally, if say for example, in a lot of the Mel's cooking sessions, um, there's I've used like little clips of like Ainsley Harriott over the top and like that stuff like that, and I could just literally type in Ainsley Harriott green screen, and then someone's got a bunch of green screens of them already. So there's a bunch of different resources like that. And yeah, whatever you really want. So kind of if you think of any movie style, or probably the potentially will be someone's doing a green screen more, or there's green screen footage of them from just whatever. Um, yeah, so there's a bunch of kind of fun, exciting stuff. Or also another little tip is you can type in green screen packs, and then there'll be like a playlist of like 100, 200 different green screen things, and there's all kinds of different stuff that you could use and get creative with. You could also do green screening yourself. If you wanted to film yourself, and you literally put like a green, you could buy green screens online quite cheap, and you could just hang it up as long as it's straight. Or even if blue screen, if you've got a blue sheet, and you're not wearing blue clothes, you could hang it up in your house. You could record yourself as long as it's straight, as long as the lighting's good, and then there you go. You've got a green screen, and it's like zero money. So you can record green screen stuff yourself quite easy. Then you could use the color difference key, and voila, you've got Jean-Claude Van Damme versus the Tai Chi master. Is there anything else I wanted to say about that really quickly? Yeah, green screen's used for all different kinds of purposes. Yeah, if you ever want it, you can also kind of make your own like you can key stuff out without a green screen, so you don't need a green screen to be able to key stuff out, but it can be helpful. So yeah. All right. Right, so let's have a little watch of this and then we'll move on. Obviously it's a lot. I think it's I think it looks crazy to be fair. All right. Looks like he's gonna attack this poor guy. Okay, one more time. Yeah, obviously the playback's a little slow, just because the Tai Chi master, the quality of this clip is so good. And then also we've got another clip on top of it. But if we exported that, it would play in real time, and it would look a little bit more like this. Yeah, that's what it would look like. So yeah, there you go. Obviously, guys, that was just like a little silly goof, but you feel free to play around with it yourself and kind of see what works best for you. Okay, guys, so we're gonna look at some more kind of titles. Well, not really titles actually. We're gonna look at putting text into video and some of the different kind of ways you can do that. This I think is quite useful because I'm gonna drag all my clips in here, on most of them. Okay. Yes. Like I say, guys, this is really useful, I think. Right, okay. Let's just say, yeah, there's quite a few clips there. I'm probably not use all of them, but so if I wanted to kind of say, that looks really nice. And I'm gonna make a new composite shot, guys, and I'm trying to think of like a little caption, because we're gonna do a couple of different captions to see how that would work, and what kind of different captions we could do. Let's have a little look. Because basically what I'm going to show you is if you watch any kind of videos like Now This or or anything on the World Economic Forum, or just basically any videos on social media, what they have realized is that a lot of these videos are autoplay. So they just start playing and then the sound's not on usually on autoplay. So they're mainly text based. So they'll have like a 1 minute video and it'll be a couple of shots of stock footage like what we have here. And then they'll have some text with some facts and statistics with a little bit of music underneath. And then that literally just makes up like a video. It's really that simple. And they're so easy to make. And you guys could make them yourselves quite easily. I really believe, and you could probably they could potentially be lucrative, right? If you started a YouTube channel and you were like, right, I'm going to make news based on something, and you made a Facebook for it, and then you just started putting stock footage with some kind of facts and things like that over it, and then there you go, and it's really like that simple, and so many sources do that. So, and they've made like it's been absolutely lucrative for them. So it's something to think about. Okay, I'm just putting my song back on there. I just dragged my music back in, and I'm going to fade it. Go back to effect here, and then let's have a little look for audio crossfade. Okay, yeah. So let's say I'm going to say that air pollution reduced by 75%. And then we've got a shot of some flowers, which it kind of makes sense. Or we could say nature has blossomed since COVID-19 or something. Like it's not really important what we put for now. The point is the purpose it's going to serve. So right, so basically I go back to media there, guys, and then I'm going to press new media, create new media, composite shot, and we've got this comes up here, which is totally fine. It's going to be 30 seconds long, which we don't want. We want it to be about, let's say 10 seconds long. And we want it to match the timeline, that's fine. And we're going to call it captions 1. It doesn't have to be that, it could be anything. And then we're just going to press OK. And it's going to come up with this screen here. Now, I could have turned that last clip into a composite shot, but we don't need it for this. So I'm going to go back to Window Workspaces, Compositing Workspace. Let's see. Alright, guys. And we're going to add a little text box in here in this kind of bottom left bit. Let's see. Okay. And if I just click on text, and if I drag that, and so we've still got that massive text size on, so that's okay. We can just make that smaller. So if I go to text here, I'm going to make that like 50 now. Is 50 okay? Let's try 50. And that's probably want it bigger than that. It's about maybe 200 or 100. 200, let's try. I think that's going to be too big though. Yeah, too big. I want it to be maybe like 100. Yeah, it's like literally half the size. So. But I'm going to make it, we're going to change our font. Now, we want our font to probably be like a little bit more kind of friendly, could I say? Because basically the font that you're going to use is going to be it wants to be kind of less garish, because when it's a title, it doesn't matter if it's garish, because a title can be anything really. It's supposed to be bold, it's supposed to grab your attention. But if it's something that someone's just going to read throughout the video, you want it to be something that's easy to digest. So this could usually follow brand guidelines. If you do think about what I'm saying, where you're going to make this kind of advertising, or not advertising, but this kind of educational advertising style video where it's going to be stock footage with text over it, then what you want to do is you want to kind of set some brand guidelines as well. If you guys did Ella's branding course, you might know about that. Or just what it is in general is like you'll have like a set font, and then you'll have set colors that you'll use for most of your media. And yeah, guys, it can people start to associate you with that font, and it's a really good way to kind of I don't know how to put it. It's a really good way to kind of portray your brand, I guess. So okay, anyway, so guys, what I'm going to say is like air pollution reduced by 75%. So that's the takeaway from this. Air pollution has by 25%. I'm just putting gibberish in here, guys, so it could really be anything, but it's just to kind of show you like an example. And then be wary of these kind of paragraph tools here as well. These can obviously center align your text wherever you want it. So I'm going to put mine in the middle, and then in the middle here. So it's kind of nice, bang in the middle, in the bottom third, more or less here. And it just says air pollution has been reduced by 25%. And we've got that there. And I am going to right click here. I'm going to go to new layer, and I'm going to make a plain layer. And it shows you the color there. I'm going to make my color pink, because like that's like the media savvy pink. I don't have the actual media savvy code. Usually if I was doing like an official project, I would put our actual code in, because we have, once again, our brand guidelines, which would be gill sands, and then it would be a pink as well. And then we're going to make the plane there. And now see, that's going to come, it's way too big, it's not the right color as well, but that's okay for now, just for the example. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that smaller. So I just literally would left click, drag, and then I'm going to drag that size right down, and I'm going to make it kind of match what I've got here. And I want it to be behind it, so I'm going to put it behind the text. Yeah, and I don't know what that text layer is, then I'm just going to delete that. And then I'm going to make that bigger. So if that keeps happening where you're trying to resize it, it keeps selecting your text, what you need to do is you just need to lock your text layer there, because there's a little padlock here, if you can see. It looks quite cool, actually. Yeah, it's quite artistic, I think, the way that it looks like that, but that's not how we want it to be, because we're going to have footage in the background, so it wouldn't look very good. And I'm going to stretch this out to kind of match here. Generally, I would say, as a rule of thumb, you want it to be, I'd say, maybe in the middle there. You can make your rectangle however you want it, but you want pretty much even distance from the top and bottom, even distance from both sides as well. So I think we're more or less there. I think that looks quite good. Some may say like that the rectangle's too big, but I'm quite happy with it for now. I think for the sake of this as well, it should be alright. Maybe let's make it a little bit thinner. Okay, yeah, we can make it a bit thinner. Yeah, okay. So there we've got a nice little rectangle with a nice little fact there, and then we're going to kind of have something in the background as well. I'm more or less happy with that for now, but we can change some stuff in that if we wanted to. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to effects. Oops, sorry. Let's see, hold on, sorry, oops. Yeah, I'm going to go back to window and change my workspaces to reset workspace. And this should look pretty cool, by the way, guys. Yeah, so there we go. And then I'm just going to go back to editor. So that's got my editor up here. I'm going to reduce this sound by like 22, 24. Let's have a little look. I'm going to find that composite shot. Captions, that was it. And I'm just going to drag that onto the top layer there. And then look at that. That looks quite nice, right? Just like, but we don't want it to come just straight in because it looks kind of like a bit weird, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an effect on it to kind of, you know, make it a bit more interesting, I guess, and so it like animates in. Now you could do that several ways. What you could do, I don't know why by the way, why I capitalized A in I capitalized A and P. I shouldn't have done that, which I can actually change that if I want to. So I could just capitalize just the P, just the A. So sorry, I'll create a new text line. Oh, it's because I locked that text line, didn't I? Okay, yeah. So if I go back, then small P. I mean, that's me being a little bit pedantic, but it's fine. And then there you go. So it's changed it in here as well. I feel like I preferred the capital P, but I don't. It doesn't make sense to do that. But yeah. Okay, right. So guys, now we are going to go to effect, and I'm going to type in push here because I know that's the transition that I want. And there you go. It says transitions, video, motion, push, and I'm going to use a push. So I'm going to have that to animate it in, and then I don't know. I think it's be about that long. You don't need it to be too long on screen because people already know what they're seeing. Likewise, we don't need this video to be too long. That's a good point as well, guys. You want to make sure that your video is as snappy as you can possibly make it. So if you've got any opportunity to cut stuff out and to trim the fat is what we call in the kind of film world. You need to just trim the fat as much as possible. You want it to be, especially with videos like this, because they're usually found on social media and they would generally be like a minute, 2 minutes long. That's generally like the rule of thumb for social media. So I'm just getting rid of a bunch of stuff here. I'm just trimming the fat, as we would say. All right, so there we're going to see how that animates in. All right. Okay, so we've got that nice little text. And I'm actually going to fade that out. If I go to effect, type in fade, right? Yeah, and then audio, we've got crossfade, and then we've got fade to color. Type in dissolve, and it'll probably get some stuff. Dissolve, cross dissolve, that's what we want. So we're going to use cross dissolve from our title into that. Put that in the middle there, and it works, right? Looks nice. So there you go. You can actually time it so all of your clips are going to be the exact same speed and duration. So literally, you would just go to speed and duration, and this is 7 seconds. If you wanted them to be uniform, you could put that all at 7 on the dot, all at 5 seconds on the dot. For the purpose of the video, I don't think it matters so much, but we can maybe make that a little bit quicker. And then I'm going to put another push effect out. So we're going to have 2 little push effects out. Let's have a little look. So yeah, push out, push in and push out. So we've got our title, fades in, and then pushes in, pushes out. Right, and it looks fine. It looks pretty decent. So that's like a nice little thing for if you're gonna make this kind of video. Just some little facts over some stock footage, some nice music. And I'm gonna do another one of these as well with this. And for this, we could maybe say, you know, people are going back to work. That might be a good thing for this one. We're gonna do 2 more. People are starting to go back to work. Trying to think if we could have like a little transition. Well, we can from here to here. I don't want to do too many transitions. Let's go to the effect. Let's have a look what we've got. Let's go to video transitions and see what we've got. Maybe do 1 transition. One thing, it's making another composite shot. Right, okay, I'll show you something I always do called a color wipe. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've never done a color wipe in HitFilm Express, so I'm not sure if it'll work the same as Premiere, but we'll give it a little shot. Generally, these are very easy. We'll see how it works. These are very easy to use in Premiere, and basically what you do is just over a jump cut or over any kind of cut into another scene, you can put like a little color wipe. And once again, if you've got like branding guidelines, you can use your branding colors, and it kind of looks quite nice. So we're just going to literally add a new layer, plane, and we're going to use the same pink again, which is perfect. And that's all I want for now. And I mean, that literally seems a bit crazy that you would just have that, but we're going to see how it works first. So literally just making the color there, and I'm dragging in composite shot free. I'm going to make it as small as I can. So we want it to be really, really small. Smaller than that. I feel like it might work, but we'll find out. Gonna just make this bigger so I can put it right in the middle. I want to place it pretty much right in the middle. Let's see. Okay, how you guys getting on? You guys practicing this, or are you gonna have a little practice of it next time? Are you just watching along for now, or are you joining in as we do it? All right, let's see. I'm just gonna type in push. There's a few ways to do this, guys, but this is maybe the most time effective, efficient. Right, so maybe that works. Okay. It's hard to tell if it works or not because we get the frame drop. I think it works. Okay, so right. So what? Right. So the key to doing this transition is that this can't change first. That needs to change when this is over it. So that's when you need to come to the other side of it. If you see what I'm saying. So it needs to be longer. Okay. Right. So I can see where it's going to end, which is fine. So if we put it like. And then we need to put the other push on the opposite side. Oh yes, it works. Nice. All right, so there we go. There's our color swipe as well, or color wipe, whatever you want to call it. And simply, right, nice little transition. So that's something that I use all the time. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll have seen that I use that quite often. And it's simply because it's a nice way to use your branded color to kind of just wipe over something. And it's a very seamless, nice transition. And also it kind of goes with the whole theme of things as well. Because if your background box is pink, then if your color wipes are pink as well, it kind of goes part of the theme, because you become identified by your brand, so it's something that's quite useful. So if we just watch that, so the air pollution has been reduced by 25%. I'm going to slow that down a bit because I feel like this is not enough time, but we'll do that in a sec. So we're going to do one more composite shot. Just watching along at the moment to try these techniques later. That's perfect, Charlotte. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you watching along, and hopefully, you can take some of these techniques down. Obviously, the VOD is going to be up, so you can rewatch the video and kind of, go back to it and do it as you please. But yeah, it's a bit different from last week. Last week we were just editing one video and we were going through how to cut like a movie or a short film, whereas this week it's kind of how you would kind of make a more social media based video. So yeah, we're doing some of these techniques, and really this is like this is a lot of the stuff you see me do is quite similar to this. If you watch the media savvy videos, just that color wipe works nicely. And we're going to do another composite shot of just the text there. Just have a little look at that. Sorry, I just literally lost my mind for about 2 seconds. Let's see. So if we copy that, can you copy it here? Oh, so copies it, doesn't it? Cuts it, doesn't copy it. Did I press cut there by accident? I think I might have. Yeah, cut. So we've got a copy and then paste it here. So I don't know if that, because I've copied and pasted that, if it's going to kind of gonna make this time lapse a little bit slower. What's the next video? It's just one of them. We can cut that, but that doesn't need to be that long. About here, and then I'm gonna make the video underneath that's too short for it. I'm gonna slow that down because it's only a time lapse, so that could really be as slow as we want it to be. So what we can do is we can just give it some room, and let's make it. If we go to speed duration, let's make it like 80%. So it might have enough room for our thing. Let's say 80%, and that is about enough. Maybe let's say okay, no, that's fine. And there you go. And now, yeah, it's got plenty of time for our captions to be on it. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to double click on this. And now because I copied this, I don't know if this is going to change both of them or not. So I may need to do a new composite shot, but we'll see if this one, how it works. It could be a little bit frustrating this sometimes if you had to do another one, but we'll see if this is going to change it or I'll leave it the same. So I'm 100% not sure. Okay, people are going back to work. Let's just say many people, so it fills it out a bit. And obviously you might need to change the size of your square, I wouldn't change your font because you want your font to be generally quite consistent, but you may need to change the size of the square a bit to match how big your text is. And generally these are just a few words, so you might, if you wanted to make it on 2 lines, that's also fine. So if you wanted to kind of have a little bit of a bigger rectangle and you've got 1 line with text and then you do like a space down and you've got a time with text there as well, that's also completely fine. So let's see if that works, or is it going to affect both of them? Yeah, so it's affected both of them. So we need to do a new composite shot instead, which is fine. Is it going to go back? Paul, I'm going right back. Hopefully, it's doing it very slowly. Undo backspace till again. Undo. I think that it's going to kind of. I wish you could undo steps instead of just like. Is this going to actually change or not? If I go back under here. Again, this is a little bit silly, but if I just keep, I'm just going to tap Control and Z quite a bit, and now it should have worked. Almost, guys. Right, I'm just going to type in the rest. That was what we put, right? Okay, so I'm going to quickly go back and then I'm going to delete that one there. And we're just going to make a new composite shot and we're going to put it in here. So let's go to new composite shot. And I'm going to show you how to like animate this one a different way just to make it even more dynamic. And we can call this one caption 2. And we want it to be 7 seconds like the last one. So we're going to change that to like 7 seconds. But yeah, like I said, guys, next week, I think that we're going to edit, well, we'll see, but we might be editing a restaurant scene. So I'm going to give you guys some more stock footage once again, and I'm going to show you how to edit like a basic kind of restaurant scene. So obviously, you remember we edited the horror chase. There's 2 different ones that I've got, which I think we could look at. Maybe a car chase one, which might be quite exciting, or a restaurant scene. But let me know if you've got any suggestions of anything you'd like me to edit or anything you'd like to practice. Let me know, and I'll have a look at it, and I'll see if we can maybe incorporate it. But yeah, for the restaurant one, it would be a good way for you to kind of gauge how you would edit a film if you were going to edit a film together, and like how that would work. And it would be like a basic film setup. So, and I'll teach you kind of how you would film it as well as we go through it. So, let me know what you think, guys. But yeah, I'm open to ideas as well. So whatever you guys are really up to with Drew, we could have a little look at. All right then. So yeah, what was I gonna do again? Yeah, text. That's the one. So we get a text layer here, and we're gonna roughly. I'd like to hold on a second, actually, guys. I'm gonna go back to captions here, and I'm gonna see if I can copy these two. Yeah. So I'm gonna double click on that, and then I'm gonna press copy. Right, this should actually work because now we've got two separate composite shots, and I went back into captions by left clicking on that one in my media, which is the first one, and then I'm going to open it in, and then I'm going to double click on C, and as you can see in C we don't have anything, because I want them to match exactly the same. I've went back in here and I just need to change my text now, and I think because this is a separate composite shot, it shouldn't copy over to the next one. So we'll see. I did it again where I capitalized the first letter. I feel like it's a title. Right, so that would be like that. And then you see we've still got the same font, we've still got the same kind of background. Okie dokie. So let's see if that's affected that. Yes, it hasn't affected it. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. So that's how we would do it. Okay, and then we can go back in our editor here. And we're going to put C in. And here we go. Alright, cracking guys. So there we go. Yeah, so it doesn't have any animation on it, and we can also make that smaller. It doesn't need to be as big as that, so we can make it a tiny bit smaller just to make life easier for ourselves. And then let's have a little look. If I go to kind of, let's say, push, and we're going to add push back on here because that's what we did before. And you see guys there, so obviously I added push on the left hand side, and it's probably going to do the same as what I did before where it drags in, but it's going to come from the opposite side. So there you go, a nice animation again. One of the, if you watch the first session we did, guys, one of the things that I really liked and I thought was pretty cool was that that this kind of motion blur here, that is something that Headphone Express has kind of exclusively. Like there's a push effect in Premiere, but it doesn't have a motion blur. So what I'd realized is that I myself had like been like adding these in, and like I would do an adjustment layer and I would put my own motion blur in, but that doesn't necessarily like work very well. Well, it does work, but it's a lot trickier. So in Headphone Express, they've already got the motion blur inbuilt, which I think is a really nice feature, and you can also adjust how much blur you actually want, which is also really cool. So if I wanted, for example, to make that blur much more intense, I put it up to 45 there, and then bang, it zooms right in. But I think maybe 25 it seems pretty good. But it's good to know that you've got that option. But I'm gonna have this zoom from upwards, and then I'm gonna have it go back down again. So I think that would make it quite dynamic and quite nice. So let's see. Oh, we're not gonna have it that way because that's a bit too intense. For have it like drop all the way down, it would look a bit too intense. So let's try it like this. You couldn't really see that there, but there you go. It pops up because yeah, that's gonna look really nice. Could have it make it longer if you wanted, so you could drag it a bit. So you see where that bracket is, you could drag it, and that just makes the effect like a little bit longer, and then like a little bit slower. That's quite nice. And then I'm gonna add one on the end as well, just to have it like drop back. Okay. And I'm gonna have that one drop down again. I'm gonna stretch it a bit so it matches as well. So let's have a little look at that. There you go. Many people are heading back to work. So that's 2 done. I think we'll do maybe one more, and then we'll have a little look at that. I think we're making some nice progress here. And then for the screen wipe, you could have another screen wipe there, or color wipe. Sorry, screen wipe's the Charlie Brooker show, right? Because I watched that recently. That's like stuck in my head. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of, because we could make this related to the UK. This one, like the UK lockdown is soon to end or something like that. Might be a decent one. Yeah. Okay. Sorry if I was staring blankly there. I was just thinking of what would be the best thing to put with this. Either that screen wipe, we could just right click it, copy, and then I could just click Control Paste. And we could have that again, but I'm going to switch it around so to make it more interesting. So where it says right for the, so if we just stretch our like thing out a bit and click on the left one, you see you've got 2 different ones there. Click on the left one. I'm going to change that from right to left, and then for the other one, I'm going to change that from, so that's right, so that's fine actually. So oh no, we need them both to be the same way. Sorry, so they both need to be left. So I'm going to have that left as well. Yeah, so there you go. So something to bear in mind about that as well, guys. You need to make sure that for the screen wipe to work, they both have to be going the same direction. Otherwise, it's gonna look a bit weird. So it needs to be left, left, or right, right, or up, up. So this is gonna have to be much faster. That's close enough. Okay. Alright, we're gonna do one more composite shot, guys. And then I think we'll be like kind of in a place where we're feeling pretty good. Because we don't want this to be too long. So almost there, yeah. Okay, let's do the composite shot. Right, last one. So if we go to media and import. Nope, I don't know why I'm doing that, sorry. Just totally had a brain melt. Go to new, composite shot, and then we're going to call this captions free, and we're going to make it 7 seconds again. And it matches all of our sequence, so that's fine. We already knew that, it's all good. And all right, and then if we go into C, double click on C, just highlight both of those, left click drag, right click, and then we can go to copy, and then we can go to captions free, double click, and then we can right click and left click paste, and then many people are heading back to work, and we're just going to change the text, so we can say Brits are out enjoying the summer. Lots of Brits are out enjoying the sun. We can have that like that. And yeah, we don't need to change anything there. Then if we go back to our editor, back to media, we're in media, sorry, and drag the captions in. And we can make that smaller. And we can add couple of push effects in again. And we can have it come the opposite way this time. So we can have it come from right to left this time. Alrighty. Controls. So we just put controls there, and we'll have that left, so it comes the opposite way. Yep. Just want to give it enough time for people to read it, but you don't want it to be on there for too long. Then we're going to add another push effect. Okay, and it goes back out that way, so that's fine. And I think we'll end on that one. So say 44 seconds. You maybe have it a bit longer if you were making a video, so you want it to be about a minute, I would say. But I would say just for this, that's probably alright. What happened to our transition there? Did I cut that out? So I'm going to make sure that we have that color wipe twice. I don't know where it went there, but okay. So that'll work. Alright, so we've got that color wipe twice. And right, and then I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. And gonna drag that there, and we're going to go to effects and crossfade on audio. So we're going to fade it out. If you just go to effects, type in crossfade, drag that onto the end of your music, and we're going to drag it onto the end of the whatever kind of boat sound that is, or whatever outdoor sound it is. All right, and then we've got roughly enough there. So it's just a nice little info piece. Obviously, when you do it, guys, it would be more kind of comprehensive than this. This is just kind of a brief run through. But yeah, as long as it's a minute, 2 minutes, and that's all you really need to do. You just have some stock footage in there, some cool text popping up with some animation, a little bit of music underneath it, and maybe a nice title to introduce it. And then there you go. That is a video from scratch using only stuff that you've found online, and you could quite easily make that, guys, and they're really good. And you'll notice now, next time you go on Facebook, right, watch any of the videos on social media by big companies. They're all like that. They're all like that, and that's how they make them. It's really really easy. So there you go, guys. And I tell you what, I'm gonna fade out as well. So we've got to cross dissolve. Like I said, generally 1 minute, 2 minute. Ours is 42 seconds, just for the sake of this. But yours would probably be a bit longer. So there you go, it fades out as well. So right, let's have a look at that then. And one last thing that I'm going to actually do is I'm going to double click on this here, our title, and I wanted to change one thing. I wanted to just make that a text. Click on text there. Let's have a little look. Excuse me. Yep. Yeah, so select. Right, so we're going to highlight these two keyframes here, which is our animation, sorry. Text. And then I'm going to highlight these two keyframes, and where it says convert selected keyframes to linear, I want to select them to manual Bezier, and that's just going to make that animation a little bit smoother. Don't worry if you didn't do that, because it's not the end of the world, but it just makes this animation come in a little bit smoother. But that's all I wanted to do there. Okay, guys, so I'm right now disconnected. Reconnection successful. Can can have anyone confirm in the chat that we're still online, because had a little pop up there from OBS saying that we'd run into some issues. Just want to know that everyone's still there. Yeah, we all good, guys? I'm guessing so. So I'm going to call this test 4. And then this one should start exporting. Yeah, there we go. It's exporting for me now. No, my neck's killing me. Oh, that's a good click. Do you guys hear that click? That was a click and a half, that. Just want to make sure OBS is okay. Seems alright now. I had some minor connection issues, I think. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, so we're just exporting the vid now, guys. Whenever you want to export, you just literally go to your top, you're right there in your editor, and you can just click on export, and it comes up with that. Guys, I'm going to ask you now if you could do me a favor while that's exporting. I'm going to switch to a break screen, and I want to post the survey in there. If you could please get that survey done for me, guys, it is the biggest help in the world. I'm going to post it in one more time. Excuse me. Because yeah, we obviously need the survey done, guys. So if you have watched along, thank you very much, and please make sure you can get that survey done. The video's almost done now. Be just another second. And sorry, I'll just switch my screen back. There you go. And we're just waiting for it to export to 45%. And if you could just make sure you do that survey for me, guys. Take you 30 seconds to a minute. You know the drill by now. And yeah, guys, it just helps me a great deal. Kind of just make sure that everyone's enjoying it and that we can make the session as good as possible, you know? So yeah, I'd appreciate if you could just fill that in for me, please, guys. I'm excited to see how this goes. It's loading quite quickly. Obviously only 40 seconds, so it should be nice and quick. But yeah, it's nearly there, about 2 seconds. Should be done in 2 minutes. But yeah, next week, once again, we'll try something a bit different. We'll see how we get on. And this is the third session, so we've got 2 more sessions after this, guys. So yeah, once we finish this, we've got two more sessions together, and I think next week we might do some more video editing, like some more cutting of like a movie or a scene. But I'm also open to ideas if there's anything in particular that you guys are wanting to have a little look at. We can also have a look at that as well. So just let me know, guys. Okay, here we go. It's almost exported. I'm excited to see how that looks. Obviously, just a short little video. Let's have a little look. Let me know if it's too loud as well. Alright, guys, let's see. there you go. It's a nice quick little vid. Um, Obviously with us having a little bit of frame drop during the thing, it's hard to kind of gauge how long something's on screen for because if it's lagging out for a couple of seconds. So a couple of things takeaways from that. What I would change if I saw that and I was doing it again, what I would change is I'm gonna just quickly show you the kind of things that I would change. That in the screen there in my viewer, it doesn't look very big at all. It looks quite normal, but when you've actually got it full screen, that looks quite huge. So what I would do is I would check your playback to see how big it is when it's full screen. Then I would reduce the size on that. It doesn't need to be that big. It's overwhelmingly big. I'd reduce the size slightly. Another thing is I'd increase the duration. It doesn't feel like it's on screen for long enough. It comes on screen, then it flies away again. So I would increase the duration about 10 seconds each at least, because it was about 7 seconds as it was, and it felt a little bit too fast. That's the thing with video editing, guys. It's all about rhythm. So as you do something as you go, it may seem okay, but when you watch it back, you get a feel of the rhythm. So you'll know yourself, but you trust your intuition. You'll know yourself if something's too fast. You'll know yourself if something doesn't feel right. So yeah, I think that it was okay given that we were just kind of flying through it, but it obviously was relatively rough. I think the title looked pretty cool. Also for the title, what I would do is this burger, I'd reduce that by about half because we don't need that long of the burger before we go straight into the video, or straight into the highlight there, the title, sorry. So yeah, I'd reduce that by half, and I would the color wipes. I think they looked okay, and the color wipes I was fine with those. But what I would also do about with the color wipes is I'd maybe put in like a sound effect, so you could have for the whoosh whoosh sound effects that we used. You could maybe put them where the color wipe is, just to kind of guide that motion a bit better. Um, and yeah, but all in all, I think it was pretty decent. Um, yeah, it was alright. So yeah, not too bad, guys. But yeah, I would definitely, if that was something I was going to release for Media Savvy, I would have to tighten a few nooks and crannies before I would put that out. But it's getting there. But basically, that's how you would do it, guys, and that's kind of just a basic kind of introduction to it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's session. That was basically how you would do videos for social media and a few couple techniques. We looked at a bit of green screen as well. So I hope that you enjoyed some of the techniques you used. And if you guys would like to please send me in some of the techniques that you do, and I want to have a look how you guys would do it. So send me in some of your green screens, send me in some of your titles, and yeah, whatever you work on, guys, I look forward to seeing what you're doing. My email is daniel@mediasavvy.co.uk, so please send me your stuff. And also, the program uses Hit Film Express. Obviously, watch the first video if you want to kind of look how to see how to download it. I'll be back later today with another stream. We're going to be having a special guest on. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you then, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you do the survey, please. And I think that is everything. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you joining in on today's session. And as I said, yeah, if you've got any suggestions of anything you'd like to do in the video editing session,